So this one, I guess we start with.
Yeah, no.
We should forward that. Whatever schedule you want.
We got somebody here to talk about it, one thing, let's let that
Okay.
go.
Steve Spencer.
Steve? Join us up here, I think Brian's gonna put some pictures up. I'm not familiar with
This sit here.
Sheriff right there. Steve.
Yeah. Want me to start talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Your name and
Steve
address.
texted me some pictures yesterday. We corresponded a little bit and talked about it. He wanted an opportunity to be able to talk to everybody, and so go ahead.
So I'm here and I'm Steve Spencer. I live at 4200 South, 3500 West, New Sweden School Road. Anyway, I want to preface it first with I'm so appreciative of snow plowed roads and roads in general, and I really do appreciate all that's gone on to make life pleasant here in the county. I really love the new signs on the stop signs that's coming to our new stop sign. It really is attention getting and it's effective. Anyway, a very wise man had in his coffin, a good friend of mine, first seek to understand and then seek to be understood. And so here I come trying to understand the policy, the right of way of the snow removal. I've lived there since 1960. And the last 5 or 6 years, I see a continuing increasing aggression of pushing the snow way off the road. It used to never be that way. The new machinery, I don't know, or the new policies, it causes me some concern because where I live, I have so much windbreak, there's never drifting at all in front of my house. And 100 yards down the road, it's a different story. When the canals fill up after hard winters, it can drift over there, but it just doesn't drift in front of my house. And so when I went out Monday morning, I was outside when I heard the snowplow coming by, and I went out to shovel out of the driveway as I knew it would be some in the driveway. And I was kind of dismayed when I saw big chunks of sod in the driveway. And I go, oh my goodness, it's drifted over too far. And you can see the little rose bushes right there at the lower right-hand corner. And I kind of like them. And they're about right in line with the service boxes for the telecommunication service boxes. So I know that they should be safe. And yet each time I've had them bumped and I had them destroyed, and I kind of like them growing there. And I just want to know, where's my right of way? I put years ago, the last few years, I put up little blocks of wood along there to try to remind the snow plowmen that don't drift too far this way. And I think they like them as bowling pins. And they just get thrown, it swerves further. And I go, okay, I know I want to respect your right of way. I have some feelings about being encroached upon as well. So I want to know, is there something I can put up there, just to kind of a little something to help the snow plowman just not drift so far? That's my question.
A good question. And we have Lance from our Public Works Road and Bridge Director. Let you answer that.
Okay. So on these rural arterial roads, by state statute, we have a minimum of a 50-foot right of way. So that's 25 foot from the center line of the road each way. And that is a minimum that we need to take care of the road and what we have the right of way for. So the area in which you're talking about, as I look at it without measuring it, is clearly within that 25 foot from the center line.
It probably is.
And so the policies have been that we, on trying to clear the roads and trying to get it off the roads to prevent drifting, like you said, we don't have the ability to necessarily change for every homeowner that doesn't have a drifting problem. So they have a mold board on the road grader. They also have a wing on the grader, and that's what's causing some of this, is that wing is an alternative blade that comes down and it sticks out about 8 to 10 feet beyond the blade. So they're keeping their track or the tires on the road, but that wing is out on the side, and they're using that to go down the road to try to clear it off. And so 100 yards away where it is drifting, he's not gonna be able to pick up and put down the blade every so often. I mean, he can, it just slows him up in the process of trying to clean the road. So we're trying to clean the road as effectively as we can. And we're trying to move along as effectively as we can. And so that's what's going on. I mean, it's within the right of way. We're trying to clear the roads as effectively as we can. That wing, because it's out so far, if there's a little dip in the road, it affects the outside of that wing quite a bit. And so if they're driving along and they hit a little bit of unevenness, it could affect the end of the wing 8 or 10 inches. And so they don't have, they can't react to what's happening on the road quickly enough to always make sure that blade won't dip down and hit the grass, especially if the grass is higher than the road surface.
Continue on, Brian.
I just got these three on.
Okay. You can, the drift is the thing the angling drift into my driveway is the thing I'm trying to just to understand how I can just. You know, I can see the path of the operator. But when it continues to continue into my driveway, I'm not neurotic enough to think he's after me. But there must be just something about it, just happens repeatedly. I just wonder, is there something I could put there? I put, like I said, blocks of wood to right in line with the county sign for the upcoming bridge and the
That's not
service box.
that sign isn't necessarily at the edge of the right of way. The sign for a bridge is where it needs to be seen for the traveling public, but it's not marking the edge of the right of way.
Okay, I know that, but you don't take out that sign with your operators.
They don't take out the sign because we have to replace the sign.
Right.
And
Nor
so
would you take out a service box.
we try not to.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would like to
Some
stay
taken
in
out.
that line. I would like that line to
But
be
it's not,
complied
it's
with.
not a definitive straight line for miles on end. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't know if they have PPSs to where they
No,
can.
they don't.
I
Not
didn't think
yet.
They would, but you know, that would really make it purely that, but you know, and last year there was a similar issue, and I was kind of surprised Monday morning because there was so very little snow to be pushed off the road anyway. And to have it pushed off Monday morning to that extent, I go, okay, I need to get over the fear factor and just come and talk to you guys. Because it's one of those things that it bothers me, and I want to get some resolve, and I want to understand, and I want to be understood.
Yeah.
And I just wonder what I can do. I don't want to be in this feeling of like, oh, here it goes again, or it's getting worse, or wow, he's goofed now and he's really gone over. You know, I'd like to, you know, if I walked up last night to my neighbor's property to the north, and he had his trash cans out there, and the operator didn't knock over his trash cans. He politely went around them. You're wrong. But okay, I'd like some of that politeness too.
I don't know how to accomplish the polite, my operators try not to be impolite. If they see a garbage can sticking up, yeah, they try to avoid it.
Right.
If if it's down on the ground and if it's a little bit, if it's some grass on the ground,
Covered with snow.
they're really
It's blind
challenged to try to.
to see what
figure
it
out
is
where it
they're trying to, yeah,
Well,
it's covered up.
and at what speed did they were operating at on an open road like that?
On
He was
an
pretty
open
going
road,
slow that Monday morning. He was pretty slow.
the road grader, I mean, hopefully they can get up to about 10 to 12 miles an hour. Not always will they be able to go that fast. A truck won't be getting off that road that far, and a truck will probably be 25.
We don't have trucks with sweeps.
We don't have truck with, we have trucks with blades, but we don't have trucks with the wings.
State highway. They- And they do have trucks and they do have sweeps and they do go a lot faster than 20 miles an hour.
Why would it be, Lance, that it's changed in the last 5, 6 years?
More aggressive, more aggressive pushing that
Yeah,
snow off.
I guess I'm wondering why, what would have changed to make it, because
Some of the changes are that we have less experienced operators. We have new operators. The ones that were operators 10 years ago are not the same operators we have now. And so we have less experienced operators.
well, that's helpful, really. I mean, for me to understand why, and the more experience somebody gets, the less, the
Generally,
easier it would be for him to avoid.
And, you know, I'd just
getting
love
better.
to, when I see that happen, I'd just love to get in the cab with him and say, hey, can't you just stay a little further away? And, rather than just feel anger, frustration.
I think it's gonna be hard for him to stay further away.
Yeah.
But I would hope that they could, float the terrain a little bit better, and not dig down.
Yeah, it's just frustrating
I
when,
mean, they don't wanna get in the dirt
No.
either.
right,
It's hard on the equipment.
right.
It's hard on-
Yeah.
Part of my question was because typically on all the roads, we have a borrow pit. And it appears that that borrow pit's been filled in.
there's some of it that does appear to be filled in, yeah.
And it's just over
out
the years,
in-
it's just kind of
in the grass.
kind of just disguised itself, yeah. Not that I've intentionally done that.
No,
It's just,
sod does
The sod
that.
of the grass, but
But they do build up over the surface of the road.
generally, on all roads that they get out in the road areas, they will reestablish,
a big trench.
the borrow pit.
Yeah.
And apparently they have given you the accommodation not to go back and reestablish that, because
Yeah, I think I'm grateful for that.
yeah, because we hear complaints from people because they're made for drainage swales to protect the road and get the water off. If you've got to build up there, the water, it makes a little dam and starts undermining the road.
Yeah, initially back in the early sixties or then on, there was a more defined borrow pit, but the road got improved, the whole surface got improved and broadened, and that kind of did away with the borrow pit effect.
I would bet if you take a look, well, there's not snow, you'd find some defined borrow pits.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's,
I mow that lawn all the time. I know it's a curve down and a curve up.
which, it's always an awkward position because you want it to look nice.
Right.
Well, and
So you plant
we
grass.
appreciate that you want it to look nice.
Yeah, I maintain flowers all along there and I like the look of it.
But you're also doing that at the risk, because there have been some times when somebody have done that, especially subdivisions, where they have to go back in and reestablish it because they take the drainage away. And so, I think, I'll try to channel my best Stephen R. Covey too. I guess we're of the same generation to appreciate him, but yes, it looks like they have given him some accommodation on the grass, but occasionally with those wings, the difficulty of trying to learn every particular.
Right.
One suggestion I would make, if you want to put the blocks, to say don't go beyond that, is measure out 25 feet and put some type of a delineation there.
Yeah, I could do that at
Yeah.
25 feet from the center of the road. That would be permittable for me to.
As long as it's not a structure, but if somebody crashed it.
Yeah, something.
Well,
That's why I think
pipe full of cement.
A
that
block
might
of
be-
wood is okay. Yeah, and I don't like the look of clutter stuff either.
then maybe, Lance could just talk to the operator and say, when you see that,
Just be
try to
mindful.
accommodate the best you can. But you've also got, how many roads do we?
Oh, mercy, I feel sorry for the poor guys.
Over 1,200.
1,200 miles
Yeah,
of roads to maintain.
yeah,
But I realize your few hundred feet is the most important to you in the county, which is understandable.
you know, it's so wonderful to have a voice and to hear. You, man, and I don't want to feel like I need to be given special treatment. It's been building 4 or 5 years now, and I just need to clear the air, and this is helping me clear the air. Just to
Appreciate you
be,
not bringing
just to
the
be
picture.
heard and have you listen, and for me to hear you and for me to listen.
You shouldn't be scared to come in, even in the future.
I like that.
They're not, they're gonna be.
As soon as I walked in here, I go,
The new
No problem.
commissioners are sitting right back there. They're coming in next Monday.
Good
we
luck,
like to
good
think-
luck with them.
We like to think we're nicer than them. Time will tell. We also like to poke at them.
No, I appreciate you coming in, Stephen. When we were, texting on the phone, I was glad that you wanted to come in and visit because I have found that it's usually helpful, just like you say, to be able to understand both sides. So I appreciate you coming in. I especially appreciate your respectfulness, because we don't always get that.
well,
Road and Bridge gets a lot of.
I imagine you get a lot of nasty stuff coming at you.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be
They've got
one
a
of those
different
guys.
job.
Really appreciate your attitude and kind approach. to
Well, I feel
gaining
really good right
understanding.
now. I just feel
I've got a
relieved.
I've got a good friend who lives out Louisville Highway. About every third year, there's a new operator out there and he's planting Fitzers along the right of way and Fitzers spread. They spread out where they're out too far and it's a corner that drifts not at his place, but beyond it. And about every third year, they unroot a bunch of his Fitzers and toss them out in the middle of his lawn with the wing on the road grader. He calls, I go out and walk around with him and say, well, this really, we could come in the spring and I could trim these so they don't grow out there, but it's the right of way
Yeah,
and it's,
I can comply.
but now that grass isn't quite as tall. So when it comes back this spring, they were lower.
Yep.
And more in line.
Yep, get short on next time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've had enough, brother, people, I feel very good about what we've talked about, and I don't think we need to hammer on it any
appreciate you
further.
coming in. Dude, and don't ever hesitate,
Well, thank you.
really.
It's been wonderful.
In fact, I haven't been here nearly as long as some folks, but it has bothered me from day one that the citizens of Bonneville County are so detached from the government of Bonneville County, which is theirs. And you've got some neighbors out there that are getting a little more, I don't know how far you are from Keith Walker. Keith and Cindy
Oh,
live out on
I mean,
New Sweden.
yeah, we're just up the road from
Yeah.
the Walkers with their junkyard. It's astounding, yeah.
Astounding. It's history.
Yeah,
And I
the
actually-
man who built that home, when he drove by there once and saw what they had done, he was livid.
I actually haven't been by their home, I just know they
Just
live out there.
hurt deeply from what they've done.
Well,
Anyway, thank you to people.
challenging, but thanks,
Thanks for coming in.
I'll get out of your way then.
thanks. for the picture,
And I
Brian.
appreciate everybody here for all your efforts and your goodwill.
Okay, so we vacate some property.
Where'd you go to college?
What?
Where'd you go to college?
Only went 1 year to Utah State. Oh, did you? Then I bailed out, and headed to the hills.
Steve's a very,
Hills are a good place.
I'm an artist, and I just, I wanted to go to the source of the place. And I missed an opportunity. I should have stayed. Got more education.
Steve's a very gifted artist. Yeah, look for his pictures because he's good. No, we'll be doing a new notice of public hearing for portions of Loadstone Drive and Cylindra Street. Why did that get canceled today? The previous one I had the wrong date on. It was scheduled for January 8th,
Okay.
2024. So decided to start over
Okay,
February 5th.
I mean, they're starting over, going back to January 8th, 24th.
That means you can't leave for another year. Year.
That's the new advertisement that does need to be signed. So we can get it to the paper.
I was ready to give me a special pen.
Not on the
Usually
regular
has,
paper,
usually has a special pen.
only on plats.
Says thank you very much. For those flagged. Sitting behind.
That might get me to stop when we went to the stop sign there.
Maybe,
I'd rather have you stop than we,
I don't know, is
Dead.
that flag against 50 years of habit?
that's a big flag, Rob.
Is.
get your wife one and then she can whack you with it the first 2 times.
50 years of habit is pretty big too.
Bet your wife can break that.
She tried.
So is your wife wacky?
Well, she didn't have to the second time through. The second time through, it was, okay, I blew the stop sign last time. Let's see if I can get it right this time. I actually stopped.
Starting a new habit, the new year,
Brian,
yeah.
I'm slow. Lance, you've got to help me out. That's why I think the flashing sign, and maybe a man will walk out in the middle of the road to stop me. Maybe you'd go out there and say.
We care about our operators a little bit more than that.
I just got a text, can you do potatoes tonight? From one of the other guys who serves out there, and he said, just remember, there's a new stop sign on 65th South.
Yeah,
Said, "I
Well,
remember."
I just wanted to bring this in to show you that we do have signs up. These are on the stop aheads and the stop signs.
I think that's great. I know it's expensive and it's a pain.
They are expensive, but they're less expensive than the flashing
They
LEDs.
can be
Not, not compared to lives.
The poles can be, the flags fade over about 6 months, and so the flags themselves can't be reused, but the way we're using them, we can reuse this.
spray paint,
Spray with sunscreen.
Yeah,
or just, there's a fluorescent spray paint that color.
I told Lance I thought for your retirement, proceed with caution.
Okay.
one of the other things I want to discuss with the commissioners is we have a old paint truck. And we've talked about that paint truck a number of times. We put it on an auction with a reserve. That reserve was not met. The highest bid was $2,600.
4-wheel drive.
No, it's not 4-wheel drive, but it's on a great big chassis. It's about the size of this room.
Oh,
But do we want
who's that
to,
paint truck? It's a striping.
it's for the striping of the roads, yeah.
And
Do we wanna offer it to that high bidder for $2,600? And I mean,
It's a high bid.
$2,600 was the high bid,
What was the reserve?
10,000.
10,000?
That's what we put.
But, so what kind of shape is the chassis, the painting mechanism?
The painting mechanism has some issues and challenges. It's hard to keep running. We haven't used it for the past 2 years, mostly because the paint guns themselves are several $1,000s a piece. The pump that we've been having problems with is $18,000. And the chassis is old and the transmission is starting to slip too.
What
You
year?
can't get parts for it.
What year is
The chassis, I think, is like a 1979.
I would recommend that you contact the guy, not just give it to the low bidder. Just say, you know, it's quite
The
a
high bidder.
high bidder. And just say that doesn't quite hit our reserves. What would you be willing to pay for it, and then bring that back to the commissioners? And that way you're not,
We can try. That's,
let them make an offer.
okay.
Car guy. It'll be an easy decision, because, you know, you just gotta take what you get, and if he comes back and says, oh, I mean, my bid is it. Then come back. But if you can, get another 2 or 3.
Let's see, it's,
He's a used,
Yeah.
he's a used car guy. This doesn't work very good, but we want another couple thousand for it.
but it comes with a couple of gallons of old paint. and,
That are froze up inside the
Yeah.
pump.
And you're
Yeah,
on that show.
If it didn't get used in the last couple of years and it's paint and stuff,
Yeah,
If you
it's,
get more, that's great. If you can.
so for that,
What you can and get rid of it.
yeah. He doesn't have to come back with us, can he? Does he?
It's up to you.
Well, it's up to us, right now. And also, I think if
Set a minimum,
he's put it on the block, and
we'll set a minimum. And
I don't know how you even come up with what that minimum would be in a,
I'd set the.
in a world
minimum
as old as that
28,
is.
26.
26.
I'd set the
How are
minimum
the
$2,600 to try to get more.
The minimum,
the back tires are coated with yellow paint.
Oh, they're caution tires.
the minimum is set, that's what the high bid was. It's just, you know, couldn't sell it on the auction.
Yeah, okay, so minimum is what I bid was,
And then try to
see what you can do.
Okay,
I think that's.
Some of our docking fees, another. Isn't that what? Whatever
as
the salesman
is
say,
where
the
is.
docking fee is, you know, we just gotta add our dock fee on that.
But what you could do for incentive is anything over that, you put the multipliers to pick up. And then he'll go out.
Different department. This is road and bridge, that's solid waste, so they don't want to confuse it.
I'm trying to help.
Taking a beat now over here.
I'm trying to help you.
I've been quiet the whole
I
time.
know
They're
it.
still beating up.
What's funny is he says that's helping.
It's helping. It's helping.
Yeah,
He's helping me.
yeah,
Okay,
I can help you.
okay,
Attaboy.
the other thing I wanted to just let the commissioners know, there's one parcel on First Street. That the owner of it was working, was
Responding.
communicating, but yeah, it's a lady that she hadn't responded in a while. And so today I asked the right of way agent to go back to her, it's like, call her on the phone. See if she'll respond. If she won't respond, then I might be coming back to you and we'll take
Has-
another
has-
route, but
you may actually made contact with her recently.
we, not for a couple months,
I mean,
right
what,
away.
the thing that hides is that she's in intensive care and nobody's responding to anything, and then we take action and take her property and
That's why I asked
Using
him
the-
to call her.
promontory point, and nobody knew that, you know, I just,
Yeah, that's why I said.
if we
take
make contact
one
and she
more-
doesn't want to do anything, that's,
Yeah. But I may be coming back with an alternative next week if we can't get her to respond at all. And then I didn't want to go this route. I thought that we had had a
yeah,
place to go forward with her and she stopped responding, so.
Yeah, I think every effort's gotta be made, even if you probably don't have a way to get to next of
social
kin.
media and see what,
No,
Yeah.
just do a search and see if,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
get her friends, and see if they comment about her. See if,
and most of the time we've kept out of it, it's been the right of way
Yeah.
agent that's. Has the contact information. I wanna. We're running out of time. We need to be able to assist in getting the rest of the right of way, the one that went to eminent domain. I haven't heard from Weston if he actually got it to the court system. I believe he hasn't. But I'm not sure. I asked him on an email a little while ago and I haven't heard back from him.
Scott has said he's been in a deposition for 2 days and nobody's hearing from him.
So Iona Road, we've got all the parcels, the documents done. The lenders, there's some of the lenders that are proving to be very difficult at getting partial releases. I think that we've got a way forward with some of it. A couple of the computerized mortgage companies that don't have any presence in Idaho wanted a alt survey of the property, showing where the homes are on it. And when we're only taking a little strip or trying to take a strip, so we think we found a way to get them to buy off on the surveyor's information that we have. But we're moving forward with that, so there's about 4 parcels that are still up in the air on that, the rest of them have. I think the documentation has all been submitted to Pioneer Title. Pioneer Title is working with the lenders and the owners to try to get the closings done.
You won't be able to start construction. It'll be next.
If we get it taken care of soon on Iona Road, we could actually start some of that. And do a lot of it, but we need to finish the right of way before we get the plans out to bid. If we do that in the next month or so, we could still get a lot accomplished this year. There's a lot of other projects that are kind of in limbo, but we're waiting.
I'm just trying to figure out how we close off road roads for us to get home.
I was actually thinking on the country club. Divert some traffic down the country club.
Sure. Yeah, you bet.
How's
Gotta
that?
get the snowplow operator to
How-
quit tearing
how-
up
how are
our
the-
lawn first.
Yeah, there you go. How are the bridge projects? That they have to do when there's no water, that's all.
Yeah, so 33rd, waiting on the voided slabs. 49th South is almost to the point of they're waiting on voided slabs. They're still doing a little bit of work. 129th South is pretty much at that point of where they're gonna be needing voided slabs too. The one on County Line Road at 55th East, they are intending to close that down next week. I've asked them to put up signs this week to notify people in advance of the project. I tried to get them to do it last week and nobody evidently was around. They were still on vacation, so they're gonna put out the signs. Hopefully the signs are up now, notifying people that next Monday it's gonna be closed
And we
down.
have a press release to Brad, get that on social media. That those.
They've been asked to notify people. I will notify Brad. I've told him before about it, but I didn't have an
Yeah.
exact date, so.
Dave posted, so. Thank you.
The ones on 45th East are still moving forward at a glacial pace. But they're still happening, I guess. It's,
So what you're saying is that bridges are calving, because that's what the glaciers are doing, right?
well, it might get to that point where I feel like something has to do, they have to fall down before we can get the environmental process to go through. We haven't heard back yet on the other application that we turned in 2 bridges on. We're still working with the bridge up on County Line. The LTAC is in their ballpark right now. They need to send out an RFP. They're supposed to be working on it to do the feasibility study and try to get that one in place. A lot of bridges.
A lot of bridges. Thank you. Thanks for spending federal dollars on them instead of our dollars. Even if it costs twice as much to spend federal dollars,
3 or 4 times.
3 to 4 times. Maybe they'll last 3 to 4 times longer. Okay. Okay,
And then I believe you wanted to go over some numbers on solid waste.
We thought it'd be a good idea. Ron suggested that we walk through, maybe make any minor adjustments like we do from time to time on that
before
solid waste spreadsheet. And then There's a similar, for you guys need to come up here, see.
Before we run off roads, the fairgrounds are, might be out there needs to gravel.
They need gravel. Do they need gravel dropped off? Do they need gravel spread? Do they need,
They
what
need,
type of gravel?
they need a couple of loads, that road's getting. Back to the horse arena, but it's on county property. We just wanted to see, I mean, can they pick it up? Can they pay for it if you deliver it? What options do we have in the county to do it for less money?
So I think we have the option of getting them to come pick it up, or they can pay for delivery of it. Depends on what they actually want.
Three-quarter
Bulk.
crush.
Well, if it's 3/4 crush,
If it's on, they've got road base down. Get run.
okay,
It's back there kind of near where you guys
The
took off
crush
that
is-
hill, you know, that sand hill.
yeah.
That road just, there's not, it needs a little more gravel. As soon as things start thawing, it'll get wet and they rent that back there.
Yeah, we can probably arrange to have them come, go get it. Or we can arrange to do something where we can deliver
Do
something.
you have a price that you,
I don't have off the top of my head, no.
that you
I
could
couldn't
develop
get-
one that they
yeah.
could just pay? It'd probably be less than. if
We
they
have
actually
in City Works. Some unit prices for gravel, and we have a rate at which we charge out people's time. So we could come up with a estimate pretty quick if it's 2 loads of gravel or whatever.
I would just. I think, John, don't you were at that meeting
Yeah.
with me. I would put it on your radar to go ahead and do 2 loads.
So 2 15-yard loads.
Yeah. And they can, when they dump it, they can spread it a little bit, right? They can just spread it down the road and then.
Okay,
Steve Chamberlain can kind of finish it up.
okay.
Yeah, you guys don't need to
You're
grade
right.
or anything.
Box.
If you
You
just
have a
spread.
scraper blade on that tractor. do you?
What's that?
We'll have a scraper blade on the tractor. do you?
I don't think they have a blade. All they've got.
Do you want me to give that price estimate to you or send it out to the fairgrounds?
Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Mark Wilson. You know,
Is he
he's
out
taking
of-
his,
Yeah, if you'll send me his contact.
yeah,